Alright y'all, welcome back. Let's get right into it. This video is about the new Ferrari 12Cilindri Manuale. Cilindri, however you want to enunciate the video is about that, alright? So the new 12Cilindri Manuale debuts a transmission like we've never seen before. It's basically something similar to what the Koenigsegg CC850 has done in the past, but it pretty much blends with a speedy, dual clutch transmission with the involvement of a traditional stick shift, right? So technically, this car still has a dual clutch 8-speed transmission found in the original 12-Cilindri. The difference is that Ferrari pretty much added a new manual by wire system, which lets you shift through the first 6 gears and reverse just like how you would with a traditional manual car. And yes, you can definitely stall it like a manual car. It literally operates like a manual car, okay? To pretty much use it, all you simply have to do is get in the car, start it, select manual mode, press the clutch pedal. Yes, it has 3 pedals like a real manual car. Press the clutch pedal and it will definitely engage like a real manual car, and you can roll through the gated 6-speed shifter. Ferrari basically came out and said they wanted to preserve the analog feel, the consistency and naturalness of a traditional manual car. So clearly Ferrari really put some thought into doing this and had a reason for doing this, right? You can also engage it by just starting the car, only pressing the brake pedal, which would just engage the normal dual clutch transmission, or you can press the clutch pedal, which will pretty much, activate the manual by wire system, and it will just perform like a manual car off the rip. And then depending how you're doing, how you feeling, you can switch into manual or automatic anytime you want during your drive for the most part. This is crazy, right? This is like actually very innovating. Under the hood is the same naturally aspirated 6.5 liter V12 engine that produces 819 horsepower at 500 feet-pounds of torque. They said the Ferrari 12-Cilindri Manuale still reaches the same 62 miles per hour in 3 seconds flat, and pretty much tops out at 211 miles per hour. So there's no real changes to the vehicle, but just the new added manual by wire dual clutch transmission. Same hood, same transplant. It just has the ability to operate as a manual if you ever wanted to go into that mode. Now, going into my opinion, right? Ferrari, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the innovation. This is the how can I say, just the thought, the innovation, the willingness to do something different. And this is what the car world expects from you and wants from you, right? I don't understand what y'all was doing with that EV vehicle. I feel like with your super design language, you could have went crazy instead of, making whatever that was. I even forgot the name of the vehicle while I'm making this video because I was trying to forget that monstrosity. But this is what we want. I mean, you keep hearing that the manual car or the manual spec of a car is dead. This is just what you keep hearing. You're seeing all these car companies go away from building manual cars, putting the time and effort into refining the manual transmission, and it ultimately affects us gearheads, right? Because a manual is basically still part of the car culture. Like, people will tell you that you are not a real driver until you learn how to drive a manual and actually experience a manual V8 with the horses going crazy and the crazy exhaust system. People will tell you that. And I feel like with the car community taking these things, these little small things away from the car, from just the cars in general, it affects the car community. I feel like this is one of them. I think going with taking one of your more recent popular vehicles, which has a naturally V8 transplant, which is something that us over here in America pretty much do. Like, there's nothing more American than a crazy V8, right? I should say it like that. And putting a newly developed dual clutch transmission that can easily go from auto mode to manual mode, right? I think that was just simply genius. That was genius. That was genius. And if that thing performs effortlessly and is like very reliable and it's consistent, this would probably be one of the best things that's ever come to the car community, right? But just having the ability to switch your car's transmission depending how you feel on that day is fire. Like, for instance, if you're driving around in manual mode and you hit super bumper to bumper traffic that's barely moving, instead of going through the hassle of repeatedly having to engage your clutch and tiring out your left foot and trying not to stall out, and you could just go into automatic mode with a click of a button, is awesome. That's fire. That's fire. You can't get around that. That's just, having the ability to do that is crazy, right? And then when the conditions clear up, you can go back into manual mode. If everything opens up, you hit that button, engage the clutch, go about your business. Even for the more inexperienced manual drivers, right? You see a crazy hill coming up, you could just engage into, auto mode and get around that hill instead of stalling out and going backwards, causing super, maximum collisions and things of that nature on some Final Destiny type of you feel me? So, having the ability to engage in these things with a push of a button is mind-blowing, The whole point is having that luxury of going back and forth is just a splendid idea. And this may lead, or possibly could lead, to auto companies doing the same thing, depending of how well this car is received, how the sales do. And this might push other car companies to be like, you know what? Let's do that. Let's offer the ability to go from manual to auto. Let's keep this thing alive because people is loving it over here in Ferrari. I can only hope that happens, I think Chevrolet already took the first dip in making a budget hypercar, and you're probably going to see other companies follow suit, right? But with that being said, the only issue I have with this car, right, is that it's damn near $500,000.
Jesus Christ.
It starts at $423,000. Yes, $423,000. I'm gonna say that shit again. $423,000. That's where it starts at. By the time you start putting all these different specs, it might be $600,000. Ferrari would charge you for just a different steering wheel $50,000. I'm probably exaggerating, but you get the drift. A paint job from Ferrari is like 10 grand, 15 grand. It's crazy. So unless us regular folk start moving like Franklin Saint, right, and running drills and moving some work, it is most likely that this car will be out of our reach. You know what I mean? And I don't want to be the Debbie Downer. I want us all to, at some point, get our dream cars. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's 5 years down the line when it depreciates, whatever. I want us all to get our dream cars. We're gearheads. This is what we really want, right? But yeah, this car is just overly expensive. And it's just, you gotta hit the lotto something, or you might be rich and here's some money, something we don't know, to get this vehicle. But if you're able to afford this, please send me a video. I want to see how it works. I want to see how this drives. Let me know, because this is something I'm actually very interested in. All right. Yeah, guys, I'm still here. Final Boss Auto Hub is still an active channel. We're still doing stuff. I'm still here. I have footage to put up and the audio got messed up, so I had to restart it. But I'm still here. I'm still posting videos. Thank you all for the support. If you need anything, if you have any questions, like, subscribe, comment. My email is in the description of the video. If you want to get in contact with me, let me know. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll holler till next time.